Luxury goods are often used to represent an individual's quality of life, taste, class, and social status. Fine quality, a rich sense of design and fashion has made luxury products become more popular worldwide. People who have certain consumer abilities choose products which match their habits. The act of consuming luxury goods itself could also be seen as a habit, with some of the younger Chinese people treating luxury product consumption as normality almost. This type of habitual consumption could be the fuel for the global luxury market's future.
Luxury goods consumers in China rank third in the world, behind the Americans and the Japanese, spending an average of $6.5 billion a year. Market research by Euromonitor shows 80 million Chinese migrating into the middle-class bracket as of January 2007. White-collar urban residents earn upwards of $12,500 a year. Though low by American standards, this income level in mainland China means an employee can scrimp and save enough for a Gucci wallet, Chanel perfume, or even a Cartier watch. Most of Chinese people's wealth has gradually accumulated after the 1980s. 40 years ago, the Cultural Revolution caused China's political, economic, and education systems to be terminated for 10 years. It was a post-revolutionary class struggle of mobilizing the thoughts and actions of China's youth. Smash the old world and establish a new world was the main spirit. Workers and farmers quashed the crucifixes, Buddha, and classical Chinese texts. Traditional Chinese culture had been destroyed massively. China had become one of the world's poorest countries. This situation battered in 1978 after the Cultural Revolution had finished. Vice Premier of the State Council Deng Xiaoping introduced China's reform and opening policy. China had begun to communicate with the Western world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and His Excellency Deng Xiaoping, the Vice Premier of the State Council of the People's Republic of China.
Business and markets developed rapidly. Western countries discovered that the Chinese market had huge potential for future development. Additionally, the lure of imported Western products made Chinese people desire to have the tastes of capitalists. Nowadays, China's fast development and the rank of world's third largest economy significantly shows that the policy is efficient. China became the world's third biggest trading nation. Until 2002, the Chinese economy grew at an average 9.3% per annum, nearly quadrupling the nation's GDP in 2 decades. From 1978 to 2003, China's total foreign trade increased almost tenfold in 25 years. The Chinese urban middle class, comprising slightly less than 10% of the country, has seen its disposable income rise sharply from roughly 340 RMB to nearly 6,300 RMB. Facing their rapidly burgeoning purse, many Chinese to choose spend their money on changing their lifestyle. Although some academics see this correlation as problematic.
It's problematic, however, I think, to then draw a direct correlation from that and suggest that there's been some kind of cultural decline, particularly looking as a Westerner at an entirely different culture that it's not really possible to understand unless you're immersed in it.
Western capitalist countries' images are still deeply rooted in some Chinese people's minds. In these people's minds, Western countries represent richer and better lives.
China has changed tremendously in a short period of time. And when there's social change on such a scale, people can no longer rely upon traditional roles and values. These have been wiped away. And so people may feel a vacuum. How am I to live now? Of course, advertising companies. I also think the phenomena you're describing, where people are engaging in consumption of this nature, having been poor, kind of relates in a sense to what we would call the nouveau riche, if you like, in this country, where because people have experienced a lack, they now identify with wealth and consume that in a gratuitous way because they identify, having been poor, they identify with this lack of wealth, and then having come to some disposable income, very suddenly that becomes a means through which they say we're not poor anymore.
For those people who experienced the 60s and the 70s China, the significant economic changes after Deng Xiaoping's policy have impressed large amounts of people. Still, feeling excited by seeing foreign people is quite common.
You, American?
Yeah.
You want to go for company?
Go for what?
For company?
Yeah.
Nice. You must be have much money. Girls, 进来吧。来。American, smile, please.
The impression of Western world has influenced a generation of Chinese and their children. These children grew up with China's fast development and imported products, receiving many Western ideas from the media and their parents.
English people are not as rich as I expected. When I went to a Louis Vuitton store, half of the sales staff and customers were from China.
Yes. You know, all the people in our school who is carrying a brand bag like Gucci, LV, most of them they are Chinese. Yeah.
Those younger Chinese people who don't have any social status, and yet they're seeking social status through an association with a brand, with a luxury product. And so within kind of post-traditional societies, it's no longer, these societies are more impersonal, and so we find that we are judged less upon what we do, because fewer people know what we do, know who we are. So we seek to make a statement about ourselves by using products. Products become a signifier of who we are and the choices we make and who we desire to become and how we desire to be seen.
Western brands always have higher level market targets. In most situations, the luxury goods people consume more are different to that in Western countries. Clothes, accessories, fast foods, and coffee shops are considered to relate more to a luxury lifestyle in China, more so than in the US or England. Shops like Starbucks are quite common globally. However, it still relates to a luxurious lifestyle. And once these types of wants can easily be satisfied, pursuit of higher level brands is not surprising. Therefore, buying luxury brands is just another stage of progress in the socio-economic changes in Chinese individuals' lifestyles.
Vice Minister of the Ministry of Commerce Yu Guangzheng says that by 2014, China may become the world's biggest luxury market with about 23% share of the total global revenue. More and more businesses are confident in economic changes in China and changes in the population's patterns of luxury product consumption for the future.